So the client's feedback will always be put on a pedestal. I need to know from the moment that you come in, whether I'm doing your makeup or your skincare service. I need to know how you feel. How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel? How did you feel during? Did you feel comfortable? So I feel like that is what makes people coming back. To come back.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Xena Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Xena Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, click the link down below in the show description to join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I like to do every Friday is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where I spotlight a different friend in beauty and their accomplishments. No matter how big or small you think it is, if you want to be featured, make sure you use the hashtag FIB Friday feature and tag at Friends in Beauty so I can see what you're up to and I can share it with the community. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from today, I just want to say thank you. And I really appreciate you taking the time to tune into the podcast. And I would love it even further if you could leave a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, subscribe, like, share, whatever you have to do. I want to know what you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast, okay? Additionally, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. I send out different resources throughout the week, including the Friends in Beauty Friday feature. But everything Friends in Beauty goes to the mailing list tribe first. So all of the classes, resources, everything goes to them first. So if you want to be a part of that tribe, the link is down below in the show description as well. So I can see you over there too. And lastly, share this podcast, share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, whoever you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help us grow the Friends in Beauty community. On this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome my friend in beauty and my real life friend, Xena, to the guest chair. Xena is a makeup artist and master esthetician out of Hampton Roads, Virginia, and has been servicing the wedding and beauty industry particularly for over 10 years. She focuses on the health and beautification of the skin for everyday women and brides, creating the luxury skin experience from yes to I do. I was so excited to have the opportunity to interview Xena for the Friends in Beauty podcast. We met on Facebook almost 5 years ago, and our mutual love for makeup and carnival connected us, and we ended up going on a trip. We went to Trinidad Carnival together in 2017, and spending that time together for almost 2 weeks definitely solidified us as real friends. Okay, we don't get to see each other much because she lives about 3 hours away from me. I'm in DC and she's in Hampton Roads, Virginia. So we spend a lot of time on the phone or on video chat, and especially during quarantine. And we always really have really great conversations, like beauty related, non-beauty related. She's definitely one of those people who we kind of bounce ideas off of each other, or we can vent to each other and share our ups and our downs and everything in between. So I wanted to bring my friend on this show to give you a little glimpse of some of the stuff we talk about behind closed doors. And it may be some of the stuff that you think about or you talk about as well. So in this interview, we talked about so much. Xena shares how her interest in beauty began as a young girl, why she chose to become a master esthetician, plus her experience working in retail at the makeup counter, for about, I think she said 5 or 6 years. We'll see when we get into the interview. She also shares how she has dealt with comparing herself to others, some crazy client experiences that she's had, and so much more. But wait until you hear the best advice that she's ever received. It's a whole word. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's jump into this interview with my girl, my friend in beauty, Xena. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Xena.
Hello, thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Of course,
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. Like I was telling you, one of the things that I wanted to bring onto the podcast is just like real life conversations with my friends in beauty who are like my real life friends. So if you all don't know, me and Xena are friends in real life. So I wanted to have her
And
on
I
the podcast, yeah, in real life.
know.
I wanted to have her on the podcast because, we have some pretty interesting conversations, like not just about beauty, but just in general. But when it comes to the beauty industry, we do tend to bounce ideas off of each other or vent, vent to each other about things that are going on. And
Yeah.
I think it's like conversations that people, need to hear so they don't feel like they're not normal or, they're going through things that other people aren't going through.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah, so before we jump into, our chat, I'm going to start off with some icebreaker questions so the Friends and Beauty community, can get to know you a little bit outside.
Okay.
All right, so first one, give us 3 random facts about you.
Well, I'm in Virginia. I am a master esthetician here in the area. And I've been licensed for about 6 years now.
Nice, nice. What's the
Yeah.
worst job that you've ever had?
The worst job that I've ever had. Gosh, okay, Leah. Um, mm, I would say the call center, but it really it taught me a lot working at the call center. I was just not used to working in such a hectic environment and the sales. So I really went into that job not knowing what I was getting myself into. So
Hmm.
I really wouldn't say it's the worst. I would say the most challenging job was at the call center for me.
Got you, got you. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from, makeup, aesthetics, all that stuff?
People say that I'm good at paying attention to detail in everything that I do. And I
Hmm.
recently had, I know you said aside from makeup and aesthetics, but I really did have someone say that, your attention to detail is very just, it's on point. It's, you're very meticulous in
Hmm.
what you do. And that really just, that made me smile. I've heard that from several people. Um, so it's about caring and, assisting people in the best way possible. So I would say paying attention to detail.
Awesome. What makeup trend would you be happy to see just disappear forever? Either one
Makeup
that's going
trend.
on now or one that has disappeared and you were like, yes, thank God.
Um, for me, it was the baking. At one point, everybody was doing the baking. I'm
Mhm.
not even gonna lie, I had fell into that trap. Um, in my beginning stages, I was doing a whole lot of foolishness. In my earlier stages as being a
Me
makeup
too.
artist. That's
Me too.
from using milk and magnesia primer on people's skin. um, and then yeah, but the baking, and still people still do it to this day. So it's just I've learned how to be do certain techniques that don't require that, but when I see it being done, I'm like, okay, we still baking in 2020. All right.
So I
We'll
literally
just
just
say
saw a makeup artist use nickel magnesia on Saturday.
bye.
Also the baking thing, that's one of the things that the clients like if I because I do skin first, so I always put
Right,
powder to, catch my fallout. So they always like,
right,
are you baking? I'm
right,
like, chill, sis. No, I'm not. I'm not baking. It's literally just sitting there. They get excited.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the part that gets me too, because they're like, "Oh, are you baking?" And then they come to you and they're like, Oh, I took a picture and I had all the flashback where the powder was set.
Uh,
And I was like, okay, well, let me show you why I don't bake. So
right.
yeah.
Last icebreaker. If you weren't a master esthetician right now, makeup artist, what would you want to be doing?
I'm very intrigued by the birthing process.
Ooh,
So I would say a doula.
yes.
So did I say that right?
Yeah, doula.
Okay, right. I just love the baby and the birthing, and I just am very intrigued by the environment and just the whole process, and
Hmm.
to bring a life into the world. So I've been doing some research, and I probably would be doing that if I
Yeah.
wasn't a makeup artist or esthetician.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that because I thought about that as well, only because I've literally been there before. Like I when I was
Really?
14, I saw my nephew come into the world at 14. I saw everything. Had a front row seat,
Mhm.
saw everything. And then 5 years ago, Maymuna, my niece, I saw her be born too. And I saw everything. I told my brother-in-law, I was like, come look, like come. He's like, mm-mm. But yeah, that's something I thought
Right.
of too. That's really cool. Also,
Yeah.
it was
I
something I
love
was
it.
about to tell you just now about either baking or something, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. But we can go ahead
Okay.
and jump into the interview, the chit chat, and everything. Tell everybody, yeah. Tell everybody, like, how did your journey in the beauty industry even begin? I'm not even sure if I know for real.
Well, are you talking about like for makeup or just like
Everything.
period, like how it all started?
Yeah, how it all started. Take me
Um,
back.
yeah, I mean, I've been playing in I was playing in my great great grandmother's makeup as a baby. You know, my mother said she always knew that I was going to be doing something in the cosmetic or the beauty industry. She said she would just be applying makeup and I'll
Uh-huh.
just be sitting there watching her just memorize like,
Aw.
wow, I'll just be staring at my mom as a baby. She used to put me on her on the sink as she like had her bags and everything over her cosmetic bags and doing her makeup. She said, you just used to always stare at me when I was doing my makeup. And as time went on and I got older, I finally went into my calling. So I would say it all began officially in 2010. um, and I just started looking at different looks on people, started following different beauty gurus on YouTube,
Mhm.
and just kind of, I kind of labeled myself as a self-taught makeup artist at this point in 2010. So, as the time went on, I finally said, I want to get a job in cosmetics. I want to try, so I said, I want to try out for MAC. I want to try out for these cosmetic counters and everything. So I finally got me a job at a beauty counter in 2014. And since then, everything went up. I was also in esthetician school um, during the time. Remember I told you about the call center job?
Yeah.
That's when it started. And then as the time went on, I elevated my craft and went on to be from a professional esthetician to a master esthetician, all in that time frame,
Hmm.
and within me working at the makeup counter. So I
Yeah.
was doing a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
What made you want to do aesthetics when you after you were doing makeup for a while?
I would say because I had challenges with my own skin. In high school, I had challenges with the acne, and I really had severe hyperpigmentation, which took almost 80% of my face. It
Oh.
was really, really had it was really for my confidence. I have very low self-esteem
Mm-hmm.
as a child because of my skin. So, my mother tried everything. She tried buying me Proactive, getting there, going to the dermatologist.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just giving me um prescriptions, but they weren't really educating me. And I feel like that's where Black women fall as a victim, in with their skin. We
Mm-hmm.
don't really get the education that we need when we go to find solutions for it.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to take matters into my own hand. I'm going to heal my skin for myself. I'm going to become an esthetician. And then that's how it all began. I was able to get rid of all of my hyperpigmentation with chemical peels and other advanced treatments. Um, so yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Definitely. That's really cool. So you decided to go to be an esthetician because of the
Right.
challenges that you were having with your skin, and so you could better, educate people on what to do and everything. Your
Yeah.
skin looks amazing now. I can't even imagine that you had those challenges back in the day. That's amazing.
I did. Thank you. It was a lot of hormonal imbalances, and I used to pick my skin a lot,
Hmm.
which is, some people do it out of stress. Some people do
Yeah.
it without even realizing they're doing it because they just like to pick.
Yeah.
And it leaves back these horrible scars, and, they're really hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
that
remember my
was my
mom used to tell
struggle.
me not to pick the stuff, but it's like you just want it gone. Like you just
Yeah.
do that.
I just really used to do it. It was just like I could be sitting here just thinking about something or doing work or something, and I'll just be picking,
Hmm.
picking. Yeah.
Now I do have a
So
question
I had,
too.
sure.
My bad. What's the difference between a master esthetician and I don't want to say regular esthetician and make it seem like it's not, but what's the difference between someone who just gets like a regular aesthetics certificate and then like a master esthetician?
Yes. You start off as a professional esthetician. I know in the state of Virginia, you have a professional and you have the masters, and there's only like several other states that have master estheticians. That's actually not everywhere.
Okay.
So, the professionals, it requires you to have a 600-hour, you have to go into a 600-hour program, and that's where you start off in the industry. And that's with regular facials, that's with waxing, doing eyelash extensions. And then for the master's program, you kind of have to continue your education and do 600 more hours. So it'll be 1,200 hours total
Yeah.
as a master esthetician. And that's where you get into the more complex advanced treatments. So you can do chemical peels, you can do microdermabrasions, you can do LED, microcurrent. You can practically work under a uh, dermatologist if you want to. So that's the difference between the two.
Okay. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I always say if I could do it over again, like if I knew that I was going to kind of end up being like in the beauty industry, I probably would have been a
Mhm.
dermatologist because I'm just so intrigued by like Dr. Pimple Popper and like
Yeah,
I would
I
live
love
for
her.
extractions. Like I would do that for
Uh-huh.
like who wouldn't want to do that? Well, some people wouldn't, but I would love to do that.
Right. Right. I love her videos, but some of them I'll be like, girl. But that's how you know what you really, that you're doing what you actually love. Because some people come to me and they're like, how can we popping blackheads and and squeezing oil and sebum out of people's noses and go out and eat lunch? I'm like, the same way a surgeon can do it. I said, this is what we do. I'm not grossed out by it.
Yeah.
I love what I do. But her stuff is definitely next level. She actually can do things that I can't. So
Right.
if a client comes to me and they're like, I have this cyst on my back or this boil, and
Hmm.
it looks like something that has to be lanced or cut open.
I would do it.
I can't do that because it requires medical attention and it has to be packed up in gauze. So
Yeah.
I would refer them out to a doctor
Hmm.
for that.
That's so funny that
Mhm.
you mentioned the sebum in the nose because David literally saw a video last night of somebody getting extractions out their nose and all the sebum was
Yeah.
coming out. He was like, "What is this?" I was like, "You never like
Mhm.
squeezed your nose before?" He's like,
Oh
"No." I was
yeah.
like, "Let's squeeze it." He's like, "No, we're not doing that." I was ready. I was
I
ready. I
love
was
it.
like, "Yes, let's do it. Let's do it." But he ain't want to do it.
Right.
Hmm.
He didn't let you do it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But you did mention retail for like a brief second. How long were you working in retail and like what was your experience like? Because I worked in retail for like a hot like probably 2 months or something like that. But and I used to try so hard. Like when I first became a makeup artist, like of course everybody's dream is MAC, like you want to work at MAC, or I was trying to work at Sephora and MAC were the two things. And literally I think I always tell people I think I literally went on like 10 interviews for Sephora or applied like 10
Hmm.
times. I applied like 10 times. I think I got interviewed maybe three. I was exaggerating. Maybe three
Uh-huh.
times. Went on Mac interview I think twice, but I never made it to like the hands-on portion and everything like that. So like what was your experience like working in retail? Because I can never really give people advice,
Well,
you know.
I tell this story all because this is a part of my testimony, but I tell this story all the time, especially to aspiring makeup artists. It's not about the brand. A lot of these brands sell you on lifestyles. Girl, I tried so hard to be a MAC girl. You don't understand, okay? I was going, I want to be a MAC girl. MAC, 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 MAC. Ain't nothing. I don't care about Sephora. I don't care about Ulta. I want to be a MAC girl. Okay.
Right.
So I would get the interviews and everything. And this is back in my YouTube phase, my milk and magnesia phase.
Uh-huh.
Putting tape on the on the so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this Mac. Right. So you have that line for the wing.
Yes.
So
Or a business card. That was my thing.
right.
You give me your
But
business card, it's getting lined up right here for some wing eyeliner.
oh yeah, the card. I forget. That one too.
Uh-huh.
But I would land these interviews and I was all on Facebook like, oh, I got the interview and I'm gonna be a Met girl. Girl, I got shocked like 3 times, okay? Each time it was like, no, no, no. Do your homework. No, ma'am. No ham, no turkey. That's it. So I was just like, well, what am my work is good, and I actually don't think it was bad because I saved photos from the experiences that I had, so I'm thankful for those moments. But eventually I ended up getting into cosmetics. And I was at a counter. Now, when you work in the cosmetics department, you have a home store and then you have to assist all the customers. So I was literally like helping everyone at all the counters. There's Clinique, Estee Lauder, Fashion Fair. I love the Fashion Fair counter. I'm still upset to this day that they are out of business and I'm going on strike. So, girl.
Yes.
So I worked there for a total of almost 5 years. And I gained so much knowledge. They sent me on trainings. The only issue was I was there as an esthetician and a makeup artist. So I wasn't really maximizing my full potential. So, I took what I could. And, when the time came, cut ties. And, so the retail, I did have some experience with the retail and cosmetics, but it wasn't about, I came to learn what the lesson was. It was not just about the brand, because some of the brands are a lifestyle. So, like Mac is a lifestyle. So that's what I came to. So I was just like, okay, that doesn't validate whether you're a good artist or not, So I learned that about the industry. But I'm very thankful for the experience and the opportunity that I got. I did it for a long time. And I also invested in my education and taking in classes along the way.
Right. Do you see a difference or have you noticed a difference in how people respond to makeup artists who like only work in retail versus makeup artists who are like freelance? Is it like a little, I don't know, separation? Because you were
how
kind
they
of
treat
doing
the
both.
artist.
Like you were doing both. So I know some people who maybe freelance may not take people who work at the counter as seriously as like makeup artists. Cause like you're just at the counter, but you're not really like taking, some people don't take clients. They only work at like the stores. Do you see anybody like treating people different because of that?
I wouldn't say treat you different, but some of the clients that would need a makeup artist for a more serious occasion would still come to the mall for those experiences that should have been hired with a freelance art. So for instance, everybody knows on their wedding day, you are supposed to hire a makeup artist for your bridal party, child. Sometimes they would come in there 10 people deep and they'd be like, okay, today is the wedding and I'm the bride and these are my bridesmaids and everything. And girl, we have 2 people at Lancome, 2 people at Fashion Fair, and the bride is at Clinique, and she wondering why her makeup came out looking differently than the person at a more, not prestigious, what is the word I'm looking for? It's a difference between how when you're trained to do makeup for
the aesthetic is different.
The aesthetic is different. So the bride was at Clinique, and then the other one was down at Lancome somewhere. The girl, basically the bridesmaid was more beat than the bride, and
right.
It was just a lot of different looks going on. You had glitter, you had cut crease, you had skin going on. It was just a blend of looks going on. So that's what happens. So, and then like the whole minimum purchase of $50 or more.
Mm-hmm.
People know when they come to the cosmetics counter, that's all they got to purchase to get their makeup done.
Right.
So it's the fact of getting out here and treating, when you're actually hiring someone, to treat them with the respect that this is their job. It's no minimum purchase of $50 or more.
Right.
You know, we traveling, we're going out to give you a service. You know, we're bringing our equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is already there, so everything is provided for you.
Right. Do you think that that's part of the challenge? Let me see how I'm trying to ask. So do you think that, okay, like the rate that they charge at the counter, because they all they have to do is buy products, right? So that's like $50. Mm-hmm. So do you think that is the reason why some people get pushback when it comes to rates, because they're used to paying like the counter price? Or is it like because makeup artists out here like undercutting too, like charging, crazy, like $25 for a face? I mean, if that's what you want to charge, that's fine. But do you think that people had gotten used to, getting their makeup done at the counter, and then now when they're dealing with like a freelancer, it's like, whoa, like you charge how much?
Exactly. And you're absolutely right about that, because I've experienced that as well, because it's the advertising and it's the marketing that these big companies put into it. Mm-hmm. You know, you can be listening to Spotify, you hear something about Ulta and, their gift with purchase. And you have to spend this amount to get the gift. And if you can spend that amount and get your makeup done because you have a Christmas party and you came, so it's those type of obstacles that are in the way. So people know. And yes, the undercutting. I undercut myself. Mm-hmm. I undercut myself, not undercutting. I undercut myself in my journey because of that. And I also had people that did not follow me. These are people that would come and see me on a consistent basis. I was really at that counter, like running shit. Okay. So I was like, really like, boom, like people will be sitting there behind me watching, like, oh my gosh, she is doing that face for $50. And I did it because I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I was just so booked. But they was like, girl, I'm going to follow you, And then I left, girl, ain't none of them follow me. They still continue to go there, get their little lip gloss and be out. Mm-hmm. But some of them did come. Some of them did. Some of them did stay, and they did. And they have become clients of, my business as an esthetician.
Good.
So it's a balance, I would say. But at one point it was a challenge because I had everybody's information that, said they would cross over with me, girl. And I was disappointed, like, oh, I can't believe
that, is that illegal? Is that illegal to like take clients from the counter into like your own personal business? Not illegal, but like against your contract or something?
You don't sign contracts I didn't. They didn't require that from me to sign contracts, but it wasn't related to makeup at the counter and aesthetics. They can't be compared to.
Okay.
And nobody has a license. So, that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But you do have some people that try to hate on you, and they're like, I can't believe,
like, girl,
you take it, girl. I had brought my camera. I had this Sony camera that I had bought, and somebody got mad. I was taking pictures and putting them online. They was like, "She's taking pictures and putting them online. She's advertising." I was like,
because
"Yeah,
they
and
didn't
that's
think
why you
about it
guys are
first.
making. Yeah, but you guys are making your sales quota because of me.
Right.
I'm advertising it on Facebook. I work this job 40 hours a week. I don't have time to, and you guys are not giving me weekends off. I don't have time to take clients on my own. And that was another hindrance.
Right. I was about to
I
ask
did
you
that
about
for,
that.
yeah, I did it for a very long time. So I did very well there at retail, making sales, making quotas. I was advertising myself online. Everybody knew I was working and how I was doing it. So, yep.
Show me what you would say to people if they walking past the counter. Like, how would you get their attention? They like, what would you say to welcome them in?
She's taking me back. Let me see. Well, first of all, you got to be beat. Okay. So I haven't said that word in a while. Lord have mercy. Okay. First of all, yeah, your face got to be snatched. Okay. So they be like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" Like, usually it's the lipstick or come with the lipstick. And you're handing them a sample or whatever the case. That's usually how you get. And the location I was at, they didn't spend money on the advertisement, so it was dead, and they really depended on us.
Mm-hmm.
It depended on us for the advertising and making the sales, you know. So put some cream on their hand them a sample.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since you've been in business for some time, what are some non-negotiables that you have when it comes to running your business?
I would say some of the non-negotiables would be well, commitment and communication are big for me. So when people come to me, they know I do more than just have you show up for the service and perform the service. I have to know about you before you come. You also have to abide by my policies. I'm going to say that again. You also have to abide by my policies. My policies are my policies. And, when that is all of the non-negotiables and the communication and everything is set in place, there's nothing to worry about. So starting a journey with me as your esthetician, it requires forms, gathering the information and assessing the problem so I can help you to achieve attainable and realistic results.
Right.
I would.
Right. Do you think that you're leaning more towards aesthetics now than makeup?
Yes, I feel as though that I am. I love doing makeup though, so that's something that will always be there. But as far as like being a full-time makeup artist, with what works for me right now is just this skin thing is doing it for me.
That's good.
So that's the wave that I'm currently riding. Until anything else changes, that's what it will be. But I'm still a makeup artist. I'm still doing it. It's just advertised differently and put out there. It's a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a little formula.
What's the craziest thing that's happened to you while like dealing with a client or like client situation? Because you always got a story. You always got something
I do.
going on.
I always do have a story. I'm gonna keep it cute today.
I don't know what's going on in Virginia. Like, what is going on out there?
It's a lot. It's a lot going on in Virginia, girl. I always have something, and and going to school always does not prepare you for the real world.
Yeah.
It doesn't prepare you for actual situations that happen to you. I try to make sure that the environment is inviting for my clients and that everything is set in stone, but it's always going to be that one person that wants to be, a little extra. Right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I had one lady come in and I understand everybody is busy, or you may be a business owner that wants to treat yourself to a facial, or you just want to relax. My whole thing is, when you're coming into the type of environment that you're coming into, you're here to relax. It's just 1 hour. It's just 1 hour.
Right.
Like if you coming in here and you're basically like Meryl Streep, like off the Devil Wears Prada. You got your headphones on, your headset on, you got your earbuds, and you're like, girl, okay, I need flowers delivered to, and I'm like, okay, all righty. So she really came in on a Zoom meeting.
Oh my God.
And it made it a little difficult for me, because I had to like ask her, like, has anything changed? And she, you fill out your paperwork, has anything, and it's like, hold on 1 second. No, and I'm like, all right. I said, well, here's how you get into the bed, and here's the process. And child, she had on the buds and everything, but wanted me to expected a full service. And I am not against, everybody gets to spend their time however they want to.
Right.
You can if you want to put on your music, if you want for me to put on a certain, I'll set the environment for you.
Mm-hmm.
I just need you to let me do my job and help you. That's what I'm there for. But she was like,
you.
yeah, help me help you. It's just 60 minutes.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, you're not gonna do any steam? I'm like, I can't do the steam when you got electronics around you. It's a hazard at this point. I can't do that.
Right.
So I really had to sit there and ask them, like, why did you come today? What is your
right?
What are your goals? What do you want me to do for you? Because you're on a meeting, I can't cleanse your face properly because you're doing all these gestures and you're talking on the phone. So, every now and then you do get those type of situations, but I like to take control. And that was a moment where I had to take control of the situation,
mm-hmm.
and just let her know, like, maybe this is not the right time, for you to get a service.
Right.
And, I won't be able to perform my best, at this time. It's just a little dangerous because you want everything done, but you're not willing to stand still. So
to be honest, that's one of the things I have a challenge with, like asserting myself, because I never wanted to come off like the wrong way, and I just end up not saying anything sometimes because I feel like if I say it the way that is like going on in my head at the moment, then I'm right. The client. So a lot of the times I just default like sucking it up and not saying anything, but I'm trying to learn how to, assert myself when things aren't going like favorably. Everything's not going to go according to, 100% all the time. Right. Sometimes you do got to be like, look,
like, girl, they do it with me too on the phone. Like, I really wouldn't care as much. I can understand being a makeup artist because I know, but when you get a facial,
mm-hmm.
that's it. Because I'm quick to be. Yes, I'm still working. When they're on their phone, like, I'm still working. All right, you said what? Yeah, I'm still working. Yeah. The contour. Exactly. They be on the phone. I'm like, so they usually get the memo. Like, mm-hmm. let me call you back, or at least put some earbuds in the AirPods.
Right. Now I know, like, one of the conversations that we always have, or we always talk about, is like, our challenges in the industry, how we, feel certain type of way about certain type of things, and what kind of factors do you think play a role in people's success? Like, do you think that image, like the way that you look, the way that you present yourself, plays a role in like the success of your business, or I guess the engagement on your social media, the success of your business, like people just paying attention to you, like in general? Like, how important do you think image is?
I think it's very important, and that's something that I am growing to learn, and I realize now. Mm-hmm. People want to see you. People do. They want to see you. I feel like they are invested into the business. Like, they know that you can do what they want, but they're invested into you as the person. I even had someone hire me because they said you had a selfie. You had a selfie on your profile picture, and I saw somebody else. They didn't. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I'll see you on.
Right. Be the
So
little thing you can't even
that's
think
stuck
about.
in the back of my head, that people, they want to see you. Now, anybody that knows me knows I do not take a lot of pictures of myself. You may see me here and there, but I'm working on that. As far as, speaking publicly, getting on podcasts and doing interviews, taking pictures, doing photo shoots. But yeah, I definitely think your image is important. People want to see who you are. They want to see everything. So
right.
yeah, I think it's important.
Now, how have you dealt with like comparing yourself to others in the industry, or on the flip side too, people comparing you to other people, because that's something that happens to me a lot. And I
Yeah.
think only like, and it should not bother me the way that it should, because it's not a bad thing to be
Yeah.
associated with certain people. But when you're trying so hard to like carve your own lane and people just keep on bringing you back to like it, you know how I feel about it. Like it just be like,
Yeah, I know we have this
I want people,
conversation all the time,
I
and
want people to
it
learn
happens
from
to
me.
me. Yeah, we are both in very small, concentrated areas. So we know a lot of the same people. We network with a lot of the same, and then like clients sometimes are in rotation. And so
Yeah.
it depends on exactly what you're doing as well. And it's like I can't really speak on what somebody else is doing, you know. And you also don't know what type of ties you have with anybody else, you know. So it's just like I have just learned, and I've even had people like come to me and want to learn from me. And sometimes I'm kind of taken back like by that, because I'm just like, why do they want to learn from me? Why do they want to learn from me? So it's something that I've grown out of, because I know that my journey is very specific to me and it's very unique.
Right.
And what I offer is what I offer, and it's in here that counts. This is what inside here is what counts. And that's what people get when they come to me. Can't get that anywhere. So you just continue to be you. It's a million of us doing the same thing. It's a very saturated industry, but the vibes don't lie. Everybody's experience is going to be different with whoever you go to. We can all be doing the same thing, but the person is going to come back to you because they related. You're relatable in some way with them, and they my mind just went blank.
That happens to me all the time.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it confusing. I was just trying to think of some big word that just came in and it flew out. But they relate to you on a certain plane. So that's why they come to you. Yeah. So I really don't worry about that too much anymore. But it really did I used to take a lot of things personally, and I've learned not to do that anymore.
Yeah, so I learned that too. That's one thing with this industry. You cannot take things personally. Like I almost like welcome it now when people be like, oh, like you're too expensive, or just like certain things that you hear from clients or just other people in the industry. I'm like, okay, like I'm not about to sit here and debate with you about it. Like I might be expensive. Like I don't know, I don't know your pockets, so I can't debate you about how much,
I've been getting compared to this whole pandemic. They're like, because we couldn't do facials, estheticians. Now, what you did personally, that's up to you. I understand everybody got to eat. That's up to you. That's your business. But don't come to me like so and so is doing facials and so and so, and I'm like, okay,
right.
Dang, and they do another announcement and they say it's okay for me to operate, and I feel comfortable enough to do that. Then I will. Yeah, but I can care less what anybody else is doing.
Right.
Because that's easy to get all wrapped up into as well, because it's like, Lord have mercy. Okay, let me say something. But I'm like, no, let me not say anything. Let me just drink water, stay hydrated, and mind my business.
Exactly. Have you dealt with like any have you dealt with any jealousy, like outright jealousy in the industry with like other makeup artists or estheticians like doing things to undercut you or
Girl, we have had this conversation numerous times. And it's definitely happened to me. Definitely some type of energy, around that was happening. And I'm like, man, and it'll come from people that you try to help.
Hmm.
And it's like I said, I don't take anything personally anymore, but I think it's happened definitely to me before, and it's happened to other people as well. That's why you see so much of the same thing going around, the same conversation. Um, but it is what it is. I just don't pay it any mind.
Yeah.
I know what I do. I'm fine, and I don't have any issue with putting anybody into the same. We can all eat. It's enough for us out here together.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
like a
What
lot of
about
things go
you?
over my head sometimes. So if somebody was acting a certain way towards me, like I probably wouldn't catch it sometimes. Like 'cause I'm just so I don't be caring. Like if you're an Aquarius, anybody shout out to the Aquariuses, the Sagittarius has got their little season going on right now. But we
Right, right, right.
we
Okay.
but I think that's like a characteristic of Aquarius is like a lot of times we're like unfazed. We're called nonchalant a lot of times. Like things don't phase me. But I did have this one thing that happened when I was working with a brand, like at a trade show, where
Uh-huh.
apparently a few of the girls was like in a group talking about me and like making
What?
making up lies and reporting back to like the person that was in charge. And it was so weird to me. It really caught me off guard because now I'm looking at like they don't know that I know. You know what I'm saying? So now I be looking at them like
You
I
didn't tell me
see
about that one.
like I see you, yes. It's a mess, girl. That
Wow.
happened like years. That was like years ago. But it really caught and it hurt
Hmm.
my feelings because the person who told me she was taking it on like it was true. And I'm like, you know me for some time. Like, like I would never say anything like that. I would never do anything like that. So it really hurt. I'm a very sensitive
Right.
person too. So at that time, it really hurt my feelings. I was like, wow, I can't believe that she would actually think that I would say or do something like that. And then for those young ladies that were talking about me, I'm like, damn, am I popping? Like this was like in 2014 or 15 or
Hmm.
something like that. So at that time I wasn't really doing nothing yet. So I'm like, God damn, like
Yeah.
what? Imagine for
You
me.
what? Did I know? I knew you. I knew you
When
around
did
that
we
time.
meet? Do you remember how we met?
I think it was Facebook, and
Yeah,
then we were talking about Carnival,
right. So that's
and
how I
it
even met
was just so random. And
Facebook.
we've had so many experiences.
Right.
Um,
We've gone out the country
for so
together.
right. Um, it was Facebook that we met,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started like going to classes together, and
Right.
we've had some. Yeah, I think I said we celebrated my birthday.
Yeah, you came down
Um,
here.
yeah, we've known each other
What year
for a
was
little bit. I would say maybe it was
that?
after 2014, shortly thereafter.
Yeah, we probably met. I don't even know. Maybe Facebook will let us know one day our friend versary,
Right,
something like that.
right.
Or I could probably look it up or something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So do you
But
feel like you're underrated or you're being slept on? Or was it just me?
mm, I feel like sometimes people don't know who I am because I don't put myself out there enough, which I should.
Hmm.
I post a lot of pictures of my work,
Yeah.
and a lot of they're like, what does she look like? What is she, you know? So I don't really feel like I'm slept on because I've been doing this for such a long time. Well, now when I was in my Mac phase, that phase,
Yeah.
trying to be something like, I was like, they hating her. I deserve this. Like my ego was just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt back then, I was like, oh, I deserve, but no, I just feel like I need to put myself out there more. I don't feel like I'm slept on. I feel like I have to put myself out there more, and I need the traffic. I need more people to know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I've also come to realize is that the more people that I come across, the more effect,
Mm-hmm.
the more I'm able to
You gotta start running
build
ads.
with that person and start a relationship.
Yeah, you gotta start running ads. Like the way that social media is going now,
Yeah.
like the amount of eyes that I get on my story now is just absolutely stupid. It'd be like 30 people looking at my story where it used to be.
Honey,
Ah,
I think
and it's especially when I'm trying to promote something that they're like, oh yeah, we ain't about to push this. We need you to run an ad or something. It has to be. So you gotta, yeah. Facebook ads definitely have
I
helped
get
me
that
before.
sometimes. I
But
get that sometimes, but if it's a picture of me
mm-hmm.
or if it's something of me, they like, ding, 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 ding. And I'm just like, okay,
You gotta show your
y'all,
face more.
that's what I was telling you about earlier. Like people are really invested into you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see what you're eating. They want to see what your hair looking like. They want to see
Right.
what outfit you have on. So it's
And of
yeah.
course, you can choose the level of, how much you want to share. We don't have to know everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm very private. So I
Yeah.
only allow what I want
Right.
people to see.
And I think that I
So
share enough. Like, I feel like people have a good idea of
yeah,
like my life or what's going on in my life. Like, but it's a lot that I
yeah.
don't share. Like, my real life is lit.
Oh yeah.
My real life is
Hmm.
lit. Like, what I choose to share on social media is, lit too. But it's a lot of other amazing things that happen in my life. How has
And
the
that's good. That's
I'm all playing in my hair. How has the pandemic been treating you?
um I'm blessed to receive new clients
Mm.
and returning clients after all that has happened and that has gone that has occurred and gone on. Things are still not back 100% back to normal, especially with the masking policy and everything.
Yeah.
Because this is in COVID times, but um I've been able to throughout the pandemic, I've been able to use the time to improve in areas that I was lacking. And I
Hmm.
didn't even realize I was lacking. I'm able to improve, and I can say that I'm finally seeing the results now that I'm back to taking clients, and I'm actually seeing the results
Yeah.
from all of the studying, the hard work and improving my services that I've been
Mhm.
doing throughout the pandemic.
Good, good. So what's next for you? What do you have anything coming up or anything that you're focused on for 2021?
I really am investing more into my business. Um, and I just want to invest in my education a little bit more. So I'm kind of in a space where I'm leaning on to furthering my education, but don't know quite what that is. Also don't want to do what everybody else is doing right now. I feel like if I start adding on more service and more, it's not really going to do anything for me. So I'm
Mhm.
just learning how to tweak what I've already have and just get myself on a platform so I'm able to get more people.
Right.
So it's like now I'm finally seeing all of the hard work that I put in, and I just am looking for retention ways to really show up and show out with what I already had, because I know that I'm gonna give myself credit. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I think I am a really good esthetician and I do a good job on my services. Um, so it's just I just want to double and double um my income, double my clients, and just manifest overall abundance in that area. And then maybe by that time, when everything clears up and it's a little bit better, I will probably be interested in doing something else.
Got you. So you got your game plan already and everything for the new year?
Yeah, someday I do want to have my own spa and just want to step away and be the owner. I'm really not too. I love what I do, but I don't like the idea of being on your feet your whole life.
Girl,
So
I'm about to say, so how about when I'm doing makeup lately, I feel my hand kind of like cramping up.
yeah,
Like, oh, is it ready? Is it time to retire?
no, I mean it's the
Ooh, it be
yeah,
cramping
it's
up.
I know massage therapists get it a lot, and I get it too. Like sometimes when I'm massaging somebody's hand and trying to like crack like open a joint, then my hand is the one that actually cracks. And I'm like, gosh, what about me? What
Yeah.
am I doing to take care of myself? Because it's like, I could be doing something and it's just like crack, crack. And I'm like, maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. Because things are always moving for me. Like, I can turn this way and I'm just feeling all types of things going on. So yeah.
Got you. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Before you go, I have to ask you the Friends of Beauty rapid fire questions. It's just a must.
Okay.
So whatever comes
Sure.
to your mind first, just answer and let me have it.
Sure.
Ready?
I
All
think so. Okay.
right. So the first one, what are your top 3 keys to success so far?
Communication, retention, and communication, retention, availability. Oh my goodness, that one.
Nice. How do you measure your success?
On a scale, or how do I like?
Yeah, how do you measure
Just
your success? Like, is it money? Is it the way you feel? Is it the way other people feel?
oh, okay. I measure it based on how other people feel because that's what keeps them coming back. I need to know how they, their feedback and ways that I can improve in certain areas. I had a friend come in for a facial this past weekend, and she's been coming to me throughout my process, and she said, I don't know what happened in the span of a year, but she was just like, your facials have definitely improved. She said you are very meticulous. You're very your attention to detail is just very, so I said, okay. So the client's feedback will always be put on a pedestal. I need to know from the moment that you come in, whether I'm doing your makeup or your skincare service. I need to know how you feel. How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel after? How did you feel during? Did you feel comfortable? So I feel like that is what makes people coming back. To come back. Yeah.
I love that. What's the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I ever received. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. You can tell people what you're doing, but show them 5. Don't show them all 10 fingers, Don't let everybody know what you're doing. And sometimes you got to stay silent about what the things that you're trying to work on. And that's universal law. Sometimes you don't need to speak everything out into the air. You don't need to speak everything. You don't need to tell everybody or put it in their ear. See what I'm saying? Because it may not happen. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe the things didn't happen because I was too busy telling everybody my business. So, so that was, my mom, I love that woman. My mom, if you watch this interview, I love you. And I thank you for all of the information because it's true. And she is the queen of giving advice.
I know that's right. I love that. What advice would you give to someone who's ready to give up on being in the beauty industry?
Oh my goodness. I have felt that way so many times. You just have to sit back, even if you have to take a break because I remember when, and I still get those type of moments sometimes, especially when I'm trying something new and it's not coming to me the way that I want. But you really have to network, and you have to sit back and find your why. You have to find your why, and you have to think about why you're doing what you're doing. What type of results do you want to see? Are you putting yourself out there enough? Are you surrounding yourself with the right people? Because I was doing a bunch of foolishness and just not really aligning myself as I should for the type of results that I wanted. I wasn't aligned. So you have to sit back sometime, and you have to journal. Journaling is very that's very important for me. Ever since I've been journaling, writing all of my ideas down. So just find something that you're really good at, and then just go into it. Just walk into it and go into it. As many people know, I one of my specialties is editorial makeup. And, I said, I want to go to New York Fashion Week and be in all of these magazines. And I did that. And, as far as the market is concerned here in Virginia, we're not getting those types of jobs. So I really had to focus on one thing and, just sit back and then just let it, take its course. Because it's like, you have to be real with yourself. You have to be realistic in the things that you want. If you want to do TV and film, you have to put yourself in those type of in that environment. You may have to move, but for me during this time, I'm not saying it's over, but for me during this time, this is what's working for me. So you just have to find your niche and then just go from there.
Awesome.
And then everything will blend together. No matter what it is that you want, your dreams, it has to blend together with what you're doing now. Everything will work. It'll come together. Trust me, it'll come together.
Yes. What's a resource that has helped you in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
A resource?
Something that you use all the time. I don't know. Do you have accounting software? Do you have scheduling software? I don't know. Mine is Canva. I love Canva. Canva is bae.
Yeah, I use Canva. Scheduling software, that's pretty much around the clock. QuickBooks accounting software is very helpful. So if you want to work and keep everything in place, you want to track your mileage on your car, you want to keep all your receipts in one place so you don't get all crazy around tax time, and that'll help you. As far as like creating content, Canva. I really like Canva. There's some apps that you can use for creating posts, your Instagram story posts. I've used Story Mojo. I think that was it. No, Spark Post. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah,
I used Spark Post. You ever tried Spark Post?
Yeah, that used to be fun.
Yeah. I feel like that's very information. That gives people a lot of information, because you can write it down and also keep it very creative. You can keep it very animated, and I just think it's fun, like you said. Gosh, I have my hands in so many things.
Those are cool.
It just takes research. YouTube can teach you a lot of things for free. And also YouTube teaches you a lot of things, and making sure that you have the right people in your circle. I've learned so much through people, not only through you. I've learned from people here, photographers, hairstylists, fashion stylists, about business, and about platforms to maximize your the way that you appear to people and the masses, and the algorithms, social media algorithms. So when you talk about the stories and only getting 30 views, girl, we all be out here. We be all, yes. I'll be like, y'all are not living for me today, okay? Exactly. And then
going on?
I'm like, what is going on? Like 30, and then it could be up there. And I'm like, what happened? Because, sometimes I can have usually it'll be like 300, usually 300 people watching. And then that went down, and I switched it from a business account to a personal, trying to get different views from other people. They said, you need to switch it from a business account to a creator's account, because I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna try that. And then it seemed like, and then the election, they took away the hashtag. So I'm like, what is going on?
Right, it just be too much.
So I used to really take it personally again, because, you see, why am I not showing up? Like, why am I not showing up? And then it could be another week later, and then you're showing up to the masses. And it's like, oh. So it's not you. It could be the algorithm. It's the way you may not.
It's the algorithm. We're going to blame it on the algorithm.
Yeah.
The last one. Last rapid fire question. I want you to fill in the blank and say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is blank.
Okay. My name is Xena, and the key to longevity and success is self-care.
Yes, I love it. Self-care. Okay. I love that. Before you go, share all of your social media info, where people could find you, where people could book you. I'll leave all of that in the show notes.
Yes. So my Instagram is Skin Deep, SKINDEEP @ underscore Xena, and it's Xena with an X. All of my booking information is in my bio. I have a Linktree, so you can see all of my subs. You can see I have a playlist up there. I have my Amazon storefront. So if you need any recommendations on skincare products, I have recommended vendors, trusted vendors that are up there on my Amazon storefront that you can look at, and you can shop according to your skin type. That's all.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for this interview.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Hey. Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.